Yeah, whole prof here, and yeah, I'm still working. Womp womp. But let's see here. All I'm doing right now is waiting for that guy. So let's well here. I was wondering, Paisley, that is her. She'll peel this up and rip it completely off. We also got another package in the meantime. We're at 96% on this Windows upgrade. It only just rebooted and was available. We're at 2 something. Finally restarted at 151, so 20-30 minutes ago. So for those wondering that are like, oh, Windows upgrade should only take like 30 minutes. Yeah, if you have a well optimized, well tuned computer with good specs that's taken care of and well maintained. If you have your average office PC, let's see, one of these took from started at 1900. It finished at 12 after midnight. So what's that? 5 hours, 12 minutes. Yeah, I had a feeling that there was a reason why these what is it, like 5 systems I'm dealing with still hadn't upgraded when all the rest of theirs did automatically. Ugh. So I'm gonna crack this open so Paisley can't keep destroying it. You want to see some sadness? Alright, so a stack of my Ghibli DVDs fell, my steelbooks, and they fell onto my bump of chicken, and there are some dents the further out you get, and now we have these marks in the cover. I am quite bummed. Nothing I could do about it. I was trying to grab one and they all slipped out and just boom, 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 and I didn't realize 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe even 7 of them hit. For those referencing, here you go. All those. I was trying to, because they were on sale on Amazon, I was trying to figure out which ones I was missing. And turning it, it slipped. And they all just, boom. There's something here too. Just everywhere. And sadly that took the brunt of it. With this being such a nice box, I almost would have preferred this one. That's more that pizza box. But the stuff is well safe. For those who have watched my Be There Bump of Chicken unboxing. Oh geez. This upgrade that had been sitting there for a hot minute finished. I'd be asking, why are you doing that? Well, it's a vulnerability. And I fix vulnerabilities. Now it's going to take another because even once you complete the upgrade on Windows, the login screen will pop up, and there's about a 10-15 minute after that still. It doesn't complete certain setup until any user can log in. It doesn't have to be an admin. But that's why you always make sure you talk to your clients so that they know that after you complete it, their users will are to expect a extended login time. Otherwise, you're gonna get some grumpy ass calls. I'm sorry, Gertrude. I bumped Gertrude, guys. Gertrude Ophelia, I'm sorry. And here's King Arthur James. Are you helping again? You're like, why are you over here? You should be watching anime. It is late enough to be sitting down already, and I'm gonna try to sit down by 2. Yeah. especially when I have to be in work the next day. Oh, you got an eye bogey. I can see it, King Arthur. Well, I'm still working. And I'm well past my hours, so that's what I don't mind doing this, guys. If it was during my normal work hours and I wasn't working, where are we at? 3 hours plus past. Yeah, right now I'm literally watching paint dry. That is what Windows upgrades are, especially when you've battled them to get them to where they are right now. And you're like, what do you mean by that? Well, like I said, the reason why they weren't upgraded already is because something was stopping them. In this case, it was a 30 version, 20 version out-of-date BIOS, and a 3 versions of graphics drivers installed at the same time. As well as still having the vulnerable Intel chipset driver. Ooh, I had to fix all that. And they were off domain. So my usual credentials didn't work. Fun. But what do we have here? Some of you guys might actually be here because, or also be IT, in the IT MSP, I don't want to say market or whatever, but job. What we have here, this is like a packing advertisement stuff they hucking to try and, because selling you stuff is never enough. If you can advertise at the same time, why wouldn't you? Is that 222? Okay. Sorry, I'm having to take care of a couple things here. Ghost in the Shell. This is from I Am 8-Bit. You might have been able to tell from the box, this like fluorescent pink. I don't know if it comes through on camera, but in real life, this is like eye irritatingly pink. You can see the 8 on there. I Am 8-Bit. They've done like the Cuphead soundtrack. I think some others I've picked up from them as well. I got a little cute pretty kitten in my lap. In this case, what they have done is they have made the soundtrack of the Ghost in the Shell game. And you're like, Ghost in the Shell game? Yes, PS1. Which is why, and also, it is an anniversary of Ghost in the Shell right now. There's huge, a huge art display with awesome merch from all these different brands, all these different generations of Ghost in the Shell, original prints, original artwork, making it back onto things. I wish I could be there because it's all only sold there as far as I can tell, none online. Or in Japanese sizes, so like their XL is like our large, if that. This is the, let's see, various artists. We have the Ghost in the Shell video game soundtrack picture disc, video game soundtrack 2 LP, and video game soundtrack Megatech body CD. And we have a kitten on top of the product we're trying to take a look at. So this is obviously the vinyl. All right. This, I believe to be the picture CD, which is backwards, because here's the spine. All right. If this is considered I know, this doesn't make sense at all. Maybe because it's considered like a picture CD. It's not like a normal CD. And Japan does read books backwards. Oh, just pulled something in the old hip. Oh, that. I think I just showed you guys a vinyl cover with that. I love that holographic. When I was a kid, I was like, ooh. Totally not needed, but totally needed at the same time, if you know what I mean. Just gotta yeet this user off of here. Alright, schedule some forced patching. Always remember, when you upgrade your computer, it goes to that build that you went to, not the latest updates. So always remember to patch it once it is upgraded. Save and close. Alright, we're done with work. So, then we have here video game soundtrack, vinyl, dual. See there too. And then I believe under here is, under this cardboard, is going to be another vinyl? Video game soundtrack. Is there anything else under this? Okay. So. 8-bit 822. This is very classic vinyl out of Japan. And I don't know, it might be vinyl in general, but definitely vinyl out of Japan of this era. I have a Ghost in the Shell Guitar Wolf vinyl. And I have a couple other like Polysticks that are this like printed vinyl that it somehow still has grooves, even though they've literally printed a picture on it. You can see in there, it's literally like vinyl plastic print. Oh, I have to imagine that hurts the quality. Have to imagine, right? But this like classic like vinyl wrapper. Yeah, I can't even see the grooves with this print on. Supposedly we have, it's what was it, 33 RPM. Yep. On this side, from certain angles, I can see the grooves, but normally they're very obvious on a standard vinyl. These, you can only see them off angle substantially. So this one is video game soundtrack, Megatech body picture vinyl limit. Okay, so that's actually the one that I thought was the picture CD, is the picture disc, as in they put the picture on the disc. Big brain. I think in my last used video we showed off another one kind of like this with this same. Here you can see how cheesy. And I'll try to preserve this as best I can, but you can see it already actually broke out in shipping, even though they packaged it pretty darn well. So, the reason why they want to do this versus a normal sleeve is because you can see it, like, yeah, because it is a picture disc, right? So unless this breaks out completely, which it basically this seam will just sheep. And sadly, I don't know a good way to repair them, because you don't want to use like an adhesive, because that'll get on the vinyl. Also, it's like PVC vinyl, so it like you almost have to remelt it. Worst case, what ends up happening is I kind of cut this out and I put it on something else. Or if I put a non-see-through sleeve in here on it, that can like reinforce it. But love the artwork here. Look at that. So this is the picture disc. And we have the Fujikomas on the back here, because those are the OGs right there. Those are the Fujikomas. The Tachikomas are in a standalone complex, and the Ujikomas, Fujikomas, Tachikomas, Ujikomas, and I forget, I think it's Tachikomas again in 2045, because I like brought them back. I want to say in the Ujikomas are in SAC, Solid State Society, because the Tachikomas have left. There's a. I'm not going to ruin the show for you. Watch the show. There's a very sad episode. Let's put it that way. Very sad. That dub still to this day gives me chills. Oof. I was feeling it there. Like that seriously is. Ooh. This is then going to be the soundtrack Megatech body 2x LP. Let me see where the peel is. Here it is. Oh, love the artwork for going to the show. You can definitely see something probably unintentional happened here. Like, we have good quality. Let me zoom in. I've seen this when they restore older things. What's weird is that this original image, do you see how we lose? It's probably from being a progressive JPEG, because it's very clear here. Because those load like beep 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 beep. So maybe they didn't have, and you can see a clear line there. I have to wonder how that ended up coming through. I have seen some other stuff that comes from this era of very early digital. You can see down here too. Very clear, but then right there and over here, unless that was intentional, but generally it's not. Generally it's because they're having to recover this art from, I mean, think about it. This is a PS1 game, and that's where they're pulling like, what do you want to say, like promotional art from. Often I don't open these up on camera, but I'm interested in seeing. Yeah, I hate these with the sticky for the vinyl, because then it makes you not use them, because you got to open them up. That's why I replace all mine with much thicker, much nicer ones that'll last a long time. However, I'm out, and the place. Oh, this is why you want to put a proper sleeve on it too. This is pretty thin here. What do we got? Oh, hey, that's a good cardboard sleeve. So it's just a standard black vinyl with a kind of classic Fujikoma there. I'm trying to remember what was in Arise. If they had, like, because that is technically a prequel, alternate reality prequel to SAC, Standalone Complex, and then 2045 is an alternate reality sequel to Standalone Complex. Specifically, I believe, well, the new, okay, if you watch Standalone Complex or Ghost in the Shell, the new movie, that is actually, I believe, in the Arise universe, but retells part of, there's always some overlap in Ghost in the Shell if you guys have watched a lot of the franchise, and that is to like connect these alternate timelines, alternate universes, alternate takes, like, because what the original oh my god, this is why I use better sleeves than this, but I don't have one right now, so I want to get this in here because it's already tearing on that side. Replace your vinyl sleeves, guys. The ones in here with the paper aren't too bad, but I have it's like vinyl plus parchment paper ones. The paper is really just to stiffen it up. You want the good parchment paper ones. Some of them can get real cheap and flimsy, but there's always some part of the series that overlap when it comes to Ghost in the Shell. And I'm trying to remember, I think the one I'm least familiar with is the new movie. And I'm trying to remember if that is post or pre-Arise. I have the original Arise releases from, I want to say it was Funimation that was doing 2 episodes at a time. Let me see over here. Yeah, 1 and 2, then 3 and 4. And then, yeah, the new movie follows Arise. And I believe that is actually what directly connects it to SAC. Except it's still in an alternate universe, sort of thing. So, I don't remember off the top of my head. Like, Solid State Society. Though it's like it's SAC movie, like, that one goes, like, universe-wise, does a lot. Because that's actually when you get Motoko. That's like the Standalone Complex universe version of Innocence. If that makes sense. Where Motoko is not part of Section 9 anymore. But still, like, helping in general. And it actually shows her how she can take advantage of not having one singular body, that sort of stuff. So then this is a 2 CD sound direction and compile. That usually means soundtrack. Soundtrack of Ghost in the Shell for Videogame. There you go. Megatech body. They're the one that make the Megatech are always the ones that make the military grade level cybernetics and the Tachikomas and stuff like that. If you see sound direction and compile, that means soundtrack on the Japanese discs, and often you will actually see that listed, like, rather than soundtrack. Let's pop this one open, see what it looks on the inside. I do have 4K Ghost in the Shell. I don't know that 4K Innocence ever made it to the US. I think it might have been in theaters or something. So you can see that this is the actual hinge here, which is the back side of this. And this is actually just a card that goes on top. Oh, it's the bottom side of him. It's kind of cool because it's the back side of that. This reminds me of PS1, like PlayStation boxes and how they were back then. That is freaking retro. Does anybody remember when they had different, like this sort of recess? I say, does anybody? Do any of you? Like that is, they never, I shouldn't say never because we have a brand new disc case that has this. If anywhere it's Japan that's still making this style of disc case, where like this molds into here and it's also on the other side. And why is it like that? It's for this big chonky book. Now I'm not going to unfold this. Wow, they actually made it readable without unfolding too. So here you got these, right? The track listing, but then it goes into the different artists. Lyrics, artwork, anime, Megatech Body Co. Limited. This is I wonder if they based it on the actual packaging that the PS1 game came in, because this is very software-esque of the era, especially out of Japan. This sort of two-sided with room for, you know, like a big thick manual, because back then games and so, like games too would be like this, because they would actually have a manual in them that would actually have to tell you how to play, because there weren't all of these established like you know, like methods for playing video games. Now what Japan does do that's good is they don't generally put the sticky on the, like the US likes putting the sticky on the flap, so as in on here. Japan puts it on there. Much smarter, because then you don't grab it when you pull the thing out. Very cool. The like this is the, like your standard vinyl. Like if you're gonna buy one to listen to, it's probably gonna be this one, because that's standard vinyl. That's it's gonna look the best. This is very much a throwback to stuff of that era, with how it's packaged. I love the holographic cover here. That goes from like the wireframe sketch view, internal view, to the colored view. Really cool. Wow, with characters that shift. Thermal optical camouflage. Megatech Body Co. Limited. And like I said, this picture vinyl is a throwback for me as well. I have, I want to say it, like, I got one for my mom that was like one of the classic rock bands would put it out like this too. It was a thing of that time, of that era, to have this. I'm guessing it has to reduce, because there's no way, like the surface of it feels so much different than a normal vinyl. Like I said, I have an of the time period, like probably from the 90s, from Guitar Wolf, you know. Guitar Wolf one. I think I have one, and then I have some very similarly packaged ones from Polysix. Oh, here, We Love the Butchers is right over here. That's the one we just looked at. I know it's in like resale used packaging at the moment, but under here is a very similar idea. I the other ones on the channel before when I opened them up used. Very interesting to see a new item invoking, the older things so much. Like I said, I don't even know where they would have got CD cases like that anymore. Knowing Japan, though, there's still some little manufacturer someplace that's making them. I remember getting imported stuff and it having this design. Also, this is much closer to like a software box. Messed up the packaging over here. Than a CD because it's reverse. Because the hinge is here, it's going to open this way. But this is the thin side as well, so they have your disc 1 on the thin side, which makes sense. Just, after not too long, you'd start trying to slim down CD packaging or even DVD packaging to as cheap as humanly possible. I could go and dig up some older anime and music related, anime game and music related stuff that is packaged, and still I have a lot of it because I tend to keep stuff like this. Like I'll pull it out, rip it, and keep it as close to this as I can. But they're trying, and I say if no, they were trying to do a nostalgia throwback as much as they could, and I think they really nailed it because of just the packaging alone, the vibe. I have handled stuff from this era, both new and used, and new at the time and used now. And somehow they've done those same techniques, even though I didn't even know. Like, where would you even go to get that box? Like, like I said too, this holographic stuff is coming back. I haven't seen that in ages in actual, like, real printing, not just like a kid's toy or something, And now I've had it in two things in probably 2 or 3 months. And the other thing was a reissue of something from this era, from Blank Key Jet City, one of their albums, their remaster albums. So glad to have them in my collection. Let me know what you guys think down below. Questions, comments about Ghost in the Shell as a like, it basically created a genre. And you're like, Akira did that. Yeah, maybe yes, maybe so. But I would argue Akira didn't spawn series. You know what I mean? The ideas of what was happening in Ghost in the Shell versus Akira are different. Similar, like cyberpunk style, but the topics being talked about. And probably for always, but Ghost in the Shell has been and will probably stay being my number one, like, franchise of anime. And you're like, oh, that's why you can defend a 2045. Trust me, the longer you watch 2045, the better it gets. Not just because you're like watching it, but investing time, but because they got more and more used to the medium that they were using. And it gets more and more Ghost in the Shelly, and less, like video game characters moving on a scripted thing. I am glad that they're going back to more traditional means with the new one coming out in 2026. And they just put out the key artwork for that because of the anniversary that is happening. I really wish I could go and see some of this stuff. Some of this artwork that they're posting is like the originals of, or remasters or reprints of the originals of, like the original posters, the original covers for the manga, the, you know, like stuff that went into that. You know, I have a print from the artist of one of the lesser known. It was, I think it was like a PC MMO that never saw the light of day, but he did all the character design, all the artwork, all the marketing stuff for. So that's about as close as I'll ever get to like an Appleseed or a Ghost in the Shell print, like numbered print. Really happy to have these to the collection. Also, I Am 8-Bit did a great job of bringing him over, and making him available in the U.S. Because as you can see, some of these had like 2024 release dates and stuff on the original printing. Could have imported them, but you gotta, in my opinion, here, this is 2025 317 for the CD, but I definitely saw a 2024 on one of these. Here, 2025 617. How's that possible? But then there's a 2024 12/18 date on here as well at the same time. 2024 12/18. So the vinyl, I think I could have ordered sooner direct from Japan, but this came out basically a couple weeks ago, a month ago, less than a month ago. Yeah. Say questions, comments down below. Which of the like movies, series, etc. are your favorite? For me, it's Innocence. I'm a sucker for a noir, but the also moving Bato to being a main character in some of the like standalone complex, they kind of make Bato simp a little bit, if you want to use that term, for Motoko, and like he doesn't show like he's powerful and respected in his own right, you know. So it's all these shows are quite good, with their balance of different characters and their purposefulness. Also, if you go into standalone complex, there's a lot, even in original Ghost in the Shell, and it definitely in Innocence, there's a lot of history or a lot of backing of it that actually goes to religion, like what they're playing off of, the theories and the ideas, and somebody did like a really good thing. It was actually based on their college dissertation on like religion and Ghost in the Shell, and they had entire like multi-hour things between, like 1 year was SAC, 1 year was SAC 2, then they went back and did other stuff. Very like the type of stuff like I'm not gonna say you would never see that in writing today, but you don't see that in modern anime. Like this sort of like research was done to understand like the ideology and theology of what the characters that are being represented on the good and the bad side, or even the in-between side, would have been thinking and why. And you know, they're very much based on certain types of people, that especially like the anti-hero and that sort of stuff, like, you know, his ideology is a real one that people have used, and some of that mirrors that stuff very closely. So it's not just like pooping out a story here. You're having to be decently well read, which I could be better at, that's for sure. And or if you know what you want to write about, having actually researched the topic before writing about it. I can appreciate that, because there's no way you don't put that stuff in purposefully. And the cardboard destruction continues. Paisley, what are you doing? King Arthur, are you just watching? And he's even backing away. He knows Paisley's up to no good. Hey, Paisley, what are you doing? Hmm? Paisley Marie? What are you doing? Hmm?